Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Leading Crypto. In this episode, we're going to go through how you can set up and utilize BYBIT from start to finish. You're going to need a couple of things to help you along the way, especially if you're in the United States. Recommend that you get a Proton email address. This is a encrypted email server right here that you can sign up for free. You're going to need a VPN service. You do not need to use pure VPN, but this is the suggested VPN of Leading Crypto. And then you're going to want to download the BYBIT app as well. Now, I won't go through how to set up a Proton email address. Very simple. All you really have to do is set up with a username and a password. Like I said, there is a paid version, but there is up to a good amount of storage for free. And if you're just going to be using this for your BYBIT, which is what we recommend here at Leading Crypto, you should have plenty of enough storage here in the free version where you wouldn't have to pay for it. For the sake of this recording, I created a demo email address just called BYBITdemo99, and that's what I'll be using for my Pure VPN and for my BYBIT account as well. If you do choose to use Pure VPN, we do have a link below that's going to give you access to an 82% off discount. This is going to be on actually a 2-year plan, so if you do get this, you will have 2 years of a really great VPN service for 82% off. So if you're interested, like I said, there's a link below this video. So accessing BYBIT in the United States, for example, is not allowed. We are in a restricted area from BYBIT, so our IP address will show up as restricted. So if you do go to try and click on here, without a VPN on, you just will not be able to utilize the platform. It's going to say IP address restricted. So for this next part, you're going to want to install and utilize a VPN. So we're going to use Pure VPN in this instance. And as we open it up, after you sign up and sign in, it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. On your cell phone, it may not have all this over to the side. It's pretty much just going to look like this one blank screen. I am near Miami, so I guess it's automatically connecting me there. We're going to go ahead and hit connect here in the middle. So here it shows we're connected. It is still showing up as Miami, Florida. So we are going to actually now go up into this top right-hand corner and change the location. For me, I'm going to choose Ireland. I pretty much always get away with Ireland. It works really well. Okay, and now we are showing that we are in Ireland. So now if we come back out of here, so now when we hit on BYBIT, that IP restricted message should come off. And there we go. Comes off, right? So just as simple as that. And for anybody out there that's wondering, once again, obviously, don't put anything that you're not willing to lose, just as in any other instance in crypto. This is not allowed in our country, in the United States, right? And a couple others as well. So, you really have to acknowledge that, right? Even if you accidentally log back into this once your account is created and you do not have your VPN on, you will simply get that message across the top, basically log out. Go back, turn your VPN on, come back in, and it works fine. Some of the best things about utilizing BYBIT's platform is that there's no KYC, meaning that there is no verification where you have to put in your driver's license or anything like that. Obviously, that's an issue for places where the platform may be restricted. In the U.S. is for a good example. They have very low fees on the platform as well, very low trading fees. Pretty much 0.01% for most of it. They have never crashed to the point where it's recognizable or anything of of note for anybody that's really used it over the last few years. That at least Magic and I know, and that's even including ourselves, right? Anytime that KuCoin, Binance, Coinbase, you name it, right? Most of the exchanges across the board pretty much go down when there's big moves in the market. Well, BYBIT's one of the ones that stay up, right? So there's never been any scam, Wix, or anything like that. And actually, when there was one time where I think it was Ethereum, briefly, dropped down to a certain, level, as far as a glitch, you could say, goes, everybody's account was made whole again before anybody even noticed it, right? So that's about the only time that, we could even think of that either. And their customer service is top notch, which some places it's non-existent. So for all those reasons, that we really enjoy BYBIT platform, and I think you will too. So our next step here is to create a BYBIT account. Very simple, just like anything else. I recommend using that Proton mail email address that you created earlier. That's just a fail-safe for my own personal experiences. I generally create an entirely new encrypted email, something that doesn't have my name, anything attached to me, doesn't have any of my personal emails going through it. And I create those for my exchanges individually. And yes, I create one for each account. That's just me personally, but regardless, we're going to use that Proton email address that we did create for this demo. This is going to be the BYBIT demo email address I created. After you put in a username and a password, this is going to pop up even with the VPN on. This question you can answer however you'd like. This is the answer that I put, just so you know. And then you're all set. Now your account is all up and running. Very similar to most other exchanges, as you'll find in crypto. You can deposit your crypto from other wallet addresses, from your Coinbase, your Gemini, your Voyager, from your KuCoin account, from Binance, from any of the other exchanges as well. Wherever there's a wallet, you can send it in. The great thing about BYBIT nowadays too is that originally it was only where you could trade leverage. Well, now they have spot trading as well. So if you come down here and tap on this markets area right here, similar to any of the others, it's basically broke up into a couple of areas up top. You can star all your favorites that you want to kind of pay attention to. Derivatives is pretty much the futures options, right, where you can long and short Bitcoin on perpetual contracts, as well as other coins as well. All right, there's a pretty hefty list here. A lot of the blue chips are on here. It's actually not a bad list. Very extensive, actually. So that's been growing for quite a while. But the other interesting factor is that not everybody has to come on here to use leverage, right? Spot market as well. So now you can actually buy and hold your crypto just as you would on any other exchange. If you were just looking to get into something and hold it throughout a couple of months, couple of years, however it is. If you want to come on here and you actually buy cryptos and send it off to your cold storages, you can as well. But you can do this with quite a bit as well, right? So it's got a pretty extensive list also in this category, and you can do this against USDT or BTC or USDC, I guess, if that's your preference. But everything is on here definitely against USDT and Bitcoin. I got a couple of different tabs up here, which is nice. You got the DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi spaces up here. So all nice and organized for everybody there. If you click on the Derivatives tab right here, this is where you can go when you are going to try to attempt leverage trading, right? So we'll get into that here in a second, but this is where you'll choose, whether you're going to do a cross margin, an isolated margin, choose your leverage percentage up here, and whether you're going to limit in market price, yada yada yada, right? So this is where you'd come to do that. Same as click on the BTC level that we just hit, and this is going to basically bring up all of the options you have to trade leverage, right? So if you want a long or short, if you want a long or short phantom, right, you can do that here. You can change what leverage you're going to have, cross or isolated, right? We'll get into that here in a second as well. So everything for futures trading is under the derivatives tab there. Trade is going to be basically your spot market. So this is where you're going to come in and just buy and hold essentially, or you can come and sell just normally as you would anywhere else without leverage, without the ability to short. And then you got your assets, which is basically your wallet, right? So I'm going to fund this one here in a second, and we'll go ahead and do a couple of faux trades on here as well. So when funding, you have two options. You can actually deposit, like I said, from another wallet that you have with crypto already. You can also buy crypto here with your, credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, anything like that. It's going to be through a third party that's going to accept your credit card and basically convert it to crypto and then shoot it to you here for you. So choose however you like in that aspect. In this example, I'm going to deposit it just from another wallet. So we're going to go ahead and hit assets down here, and we're going to go ahead and hit deposit because I'm going to deposit into this account. We're going to choose USDT, and USDT is an interesting one. So I do want to point this out. A lot of times, BTC, everything like that, they're going to just be on Ethereum. It's going to be on their own blockchain. USDT, however, does have several options on how you can send the crypto. You want to make sure that both your deposit and wherever you're sending it from, wherever you're sending it to, that they're both on the same one. ERC20 is obviously on the Ethereum network. We're going to select this one for this example. That may be higher in fees or anything like that. So if you do want to try out any of these other ones, obviously is up to you. But for this one, and for suggestion, I suppose I would stick to the ERC20 for USDT if you're going to be sending that. Like I said, for Bitcoin or anything like that, it's just obviously going to be the Bitcoin network or whatever it's on. But we're going to hit the ERC20 here. Okay. Where I'm sending it from is an ERC20 as well. Now this is going to generate your address for this account. So now you can tell where you're sending money from, if it's Coinbase, if it's Gemini, if it's Voyager, if it's KuCoin, wherever. There's going to be when you go to withdraw from those accounts, it's going to ask you what address you're sending to, and this is it, right? So you can either QR code over this if you have that ability, or you go ahead and copy this right here. All right, now that we're funded with our $100, we're going to go over and we're going to trade some spot to start, and then we'll trade a couple of the derivatives as well. So I'm going to come over here and click on markets, and up top here you got your favorites, derivatives, and spot, like I said, right? So if you want to make a favorites, you just hit the star side to the left right here, and then in your favorites that will be where everything pops up there for whatever you want, either in derivatives or in spot, right? So derivatives are your future options. So in spot, we're going to go here and we're going to buy some Luna, right? Click on it, going to go to buy. Very similar if you've ever worked on any other exchange, obviously the same as many others. You've got your buy or sell, depending on what you want to do here. You can change this limit down to limit or market, right? So depending on if you want to decide what you want to pay, current price right now is $56.16. I'm sorry, $56.15. But the going rate for the next sell order is actually up here at $56.19. So if you wanted to actually go ahead and buy anything from this moment, you would have to offer up $56.19, $56.20, and so on up. If you did want to pay less, if you have a level you're looking at specifically down at $50, $51, $55, whatever, limit is how you would choose to pay what you want to pay. If you do choose market, the amount that you're about to enter in is going to basically run you through. You're not going to be able to choose what price you pay. You're only going to choose what amount of money you're going to put in here, and it's going to sell you the next available, basically. So for example, I'm going to go back to limit, and for $56.15, I'm going to say that I want to buy Luna, right? We're going to put in 1 Luna, and we're going to hit buy. Order's been submitted, but because of the price, right, you come down to the bottom here and your order is sitting here. It has not been filled yet because the price that you want to buy at is $56.15, and now the current bid is $56.26. So if you wanted to change that, you would have to cancel, right? Basically, your funds would return up to the top there. And then now, if we wanted to buy at the going price, we really want to punch in one of these two up here. Still, to me, it's a little bit safer than market because, once again, just in market situations in the past, something could happen and you could end up paying, $90 out of nowhere real quick for Luna, and then it basically comes right back down or something like that. Once again, like I said, BYBIT's really never had those issues, but this is just, for me personally, I just choose to limit in. And if you want to make sure you get your buy at the moment, just make sure to put in for one of these prices right here, and depending on how much you're buying, right? So we're only doing about $56 anyways is what we're going to buy. So right here there's 75 Luna, right, that are going on the market here for this price. So we'll definitely be able to fill this right here. So we're going to click on this price. All right, so 56.34. We're going to do that one. Now when we hit buy, yep, all orders. You can go to your order history right here and you can see where we got it, right? So we did indeed get it right there. You can see now it says available. You have $43 left in your USDT. So now when we go to actually sell, if you want to click up here at the top, now you're going to show that you have this 0.99 Luna, which is just basically almost one full because it's about $56 that we paid. And here is where we can choose to sell, right? So we're going to change this price. Say we want to sell this at $90. This little scale right here is how you can either determine how much of your funds or how much of your Luna at this point you want to sell at the moment. You can do this in fashion of 50% of your holdings in case you want a dollar cost, basically average out on the way up, and same thing if you wanted to set stop limits or anything like that. So this is just a little easy quick scale, so you can just drag it up to 100. Then when you hit sell, your order pops up at the bottom, just letting you know that this is the order you have. So this will show up in the order book up the road. Obviously, it hasn't been filled yet. If you want to cancel that and sell that at a different rate, obviously you just hit cancel and do what we did basically earlier, right? If you were looking to just cancel and sell right now, up here in the red, oddly enough, when you're buying, you want to be paying attention to the red prices. When you're selling, you're going to be looking for these prices down here. So right now, the going bid is essentially is $56.39. Realistically, the next sell order is coming in up here. So this person is willing to, or these people, it's not just one person, but the next sell is coming in at $56.47. But realistically, the next person is only willing to pay $56.42. So there's about a 5-cent discrepancy here. So we're going to click on this one right here. $56.42 is then going to pop up over here on this side. We're going to drag this sucker over here, and then we're going to sell our Luna. Nothing appears down here because it's already been sold out. You don't have an order waiting. And that's pretty much the ins and outs of buy and sell on a spot trade, right? So very, very simple, very similar to pretty much any other exchange in that fashion. Now, if you're going to be trading futures, also known as leverage trading, right? This is under the derivatives here. What you have to do, very similar to KuCoin, right? We have to go actually back to our assets, our wallet here, and we're going to have to transfer up here, right? Because you have a spot wallet and then you have a derivatives wallet, and then you actually have this BuyFi. This is where you can stake cryptos and get rewards from that, essentially, our APY. But you have the 3 different wallets here. Everything defaults into your spot. So from there, if you want to trade leverage or anything like that, you will have to transfer funds into your derivatives. So we're going to hit transfer. Right, and from here you're going to take it out of spot into derivatives. Pretty simple there. We're going to do USDT. I'm going to just hit all since it's only $100 and confirm transfer. All right, so now you have your funds in your derivatives wallet. Now we can go ahead and click on derivatives. Or you can actually just hit markets again if it's just an easier, clear look here, and choose derivatives up at the top, and you're basically going to be able to just choose from a list view right here, whatever you'd like to trade. Let's say we're going to take a look at, well, let's just do Luna again, right? So now we're on a leverage trading basis here. Obviously, you'd want to have a plan going into this, not just YOLO trading here, but this is how you would do it once you have everything mapped out. You can choose if you're going to go long or short here. We're going to hit long. Okay. Now the first thing you want to choose up here, this is your leverage amount, right? Your 10x. You can change this into, first thing actually is up here. You got isolated and cross. And just so you understand, isolated is probably what most of you want to choose. This means that if you have, $10,000 in this, in your derivatives account, or even just $1,000, whatever that case may be, 100,000, whatever it is. If on this trade you only wanted to, leverage $1,000 and you had $10,000 in your account, you will only be risking that $1,000. So if the 10x, 20x, 5x, whatever leverage you put, if you are on a liquidation rate and it goes, you end up underwater, it's just going to liquidate that set amount of money. So if you only put $1,000 in, you're only going to lose $1,000 at worst case. If you go into cross, this is going to basically start pulling everything from your account, right? So this is not something that you really want to dabble in my opinion, starting out. And once again, starting out even in leverage is very risky and dangerous to begin with. You will lose your money. So practice with small amounts, just like we're doing right here at $100. Bet, risk $20 to make 40. You know what I mean? That's kind of the deal. And then essentially you really want to make at least 8 to 10 pretty successful trades before you even really put anything of value into this. And then on another scale, you want to be a pretty successful spot trader, not day trader. But if you're not really succeeding in spot market, the leverage market is going to eat you alive. But that's the difference here. Isolated is the way to go in that aspect. And you want to change your leverage. I really don't recommend much more than 3 to 5, especially starting out. And you can even start out at 2. So we're going to put this at 3x, right? So that's for your long. All right, after that is set, essentially it's the same as buying on spot pretty much right here, right? So you're going to be in your 3x position, whether it's long or short. You can make that decision down here. Right here, we are going to, once again, limit. You can do the market buy if you want, but for me personally, I'd go for the limit. All right, so we've got our limit. We've got our leverage in place. We're going to choose isolated. So now we're going to choose where we're going to buy at here. So for this order, once again, current bid essentially is at this level. This is the next person that's willing to sell, and this is where the next person is willing to buy, right? So there's about a 0.05 difference right here. So if you wanted to fill this order right away, once again, you'd go ahead and you choose, one of these levels up here that somebody is offering to sell at, and basically you're agreeing to buy it from them for that price. This is the amount, over here. So for Luna, for this example, we're only going to be buying 1 Luna basically, or maybe 1.5. So there's obviously 300, orders in this level. There's 532, and so you'll have plenty of liquidity in that aspect. So that's how we'll look at it. So order price, I'll just go ahead and I'll click on this 56,515. So now you've got your contract quantity. For this, to me, it's going to be, this is why we chose isolated as well, right? Because we're going to be risking what we have available in this account specifically, right? So for me, if I'm going to be putting up $1,000 or anything like that, you could put this into here, and whatever you're about to buy in is the only thing you'll be risking. For me, I'm willing to actually risk this entire $100. So of this available balance, I can actually take this little slider. This is going to basically put me in for either 25% of available balance, 50%, 75%, or 100%. So I'm actually going to go ahead and slide that over, right? If you're going to do this any other way, you'll have to calculate that yourself, right? If you have $10,000 in this account and you just want to use $1,000 or whatever that may be, obviously you can do the same thing with dragging this over, or you'll have to manually add up the contracts based on a 3x, a 10, whatever your leverage is, right? So for this measure, we've got $100 on 3x leverage, so our order value is essentially 3 times that, right? So whether we go long or we go short, essentially our contract is going to be worth about $300, so about 3 times as much. The reason there's a little difference here is because there is a funding rate, there's fees apply, things of that nature as well. So from here, I suggest you put in a take profit and stop loss. Going to go ahead and click on that, and right here, what is really neat about this as well, right? So down here below, you can either type in a take profit level, which if you're in leading crypto, you more than likely should have some, right? If you're looking for point of control, that EQ, top of the range, if you're looking for a key level, you should have some kind of levels marked out to yourself. If for some reason, you also just are looking for a 50% rally, 100% rally, or 150% move, you can go ahead and type on any of these here, and this is just that, right? So if you're looking for a 10% win, this is going to automatically generate that for you. Like I said, if you, for example, I guess we'll hit 50. So at 50% profit, it's going to basically close you out at this level, and that's going to give you a 50% profit, making you approximately $50, right? So once again, this is 50% of the capital you're putting in. So even though we're wagering with $300, we actually are only utilizing 100 of our own money. So 50% of our money is what we're going to be closed off at. So that's going to be $50. Now, if you had your own personal level that you had in mind, right, you can actually just go ahead and type it in here. If it's 71.51, for example, as your take profit, that's what you could do there. Stop loss is the same way. If you are someone that just goes off of a 5% stop loss or a 2% stop loss, something of that nature, obviously it does not have 2% listed here, but you can click on 5%, and that's going to give you what that calculated adjustment would be, and it'll automatically stop you out when the market gets to that level, and it tells you what the expected loss would be, about $5. Same thing, right, applies if you have a separate goal, if you have if your levels of where you are looking to take a stop loss are different than these specific pre-identified numbers, then you go ahead and you type it in here as well, right? So if it's 51.51, for example, then that's how you would do it. This stop loss would be about a 25% move, essentially to the downside. You're going to hit confirm here. Now we decide if we're going to open long or short. Once again, in that previous little take profit and stop loss, we set that up for long. So now we're going to go ahead and hit open long. It's going to give you a little rundown of everything. Go ahead and hit confirm. Down here at the bottom, there is a positions and an orders area. So once your position is filled and it is active, it's going to show up under positions if it has not been filled yet. And this goes the same for spot, right? When you have that order that just barely missed the ask price and it continues away from you and you still have it sitting down here, or you mark a sell order, these are going to show up as in here, and your positions that are already in play are going to show up active right here. So we do have this Luna long for an isolated 3x margin. We've got 5 contracts, entry price, the mark price, and essentially a liquidation price right here. However, we do have a stop loss and take profit in play right here. For this example here, right, like I said, you've got your stop loss in play and your take profit already set. So realistically, you could set it and forget it. If you do change your mind and see, like, for example, right now we're up 0.5% right here, we could go ahead and go into manually close this position. So hit close by. So if you do choose to close by market, this is going to tell you where you entered in. This is going to give you the current market price. This will change, live here for you. And then essentially you'll choose here for quantity, how much you want to sell at this market price, right? So if you want to sell everything, you just hit 100%. If you want to sell half your position, whatever, and it's going to sell you at this market price. Once again, I go more personally for limit, and you just choose it, and the same deal. You got the market price does show up here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this so that we do make sure we do get that level that we want. And that would be how you would close out from limit. I am going to show you also how to just close out from market, which is very simple. You just go ahead and put 100% of your contract, or however many you are looking to sell out. It's going to give you the market price, and essentially very simple, right? You're just going to go ahead and hit confirm. Now this is, you're going to have to wait and see what the price actually comes back to. But there you are. And that's essentially the ins and outs. If you were to do a short position, so if you were to assume or bet that the price action is going to go lower, you would do the same thing here for this short with your take profit and stop loss, right? Your stop loss would be higher, right? You'd be probably stopping yourself around $57 so that the price action, if it continued higher, you wouldn't continue losing money. And then you'd have your take profits down below that. And when you're ready to cash back out of BYBIT, right, we're going to go over here to assets. And same thing, right? If we are in cash again, or whatever you're in, if it's even BTC, whatever you have anywhere, whatever you want to whatever you want to withdraw from this account, right? So when you're putting money into these accounts, you're depositing in. When you're taking this and sending it to another wallet, this is going to be withdrawing, right? Anytime you want to do that, you're going to have whatever you want to take out, whatever you're going to withdraw is going to be needed to be in your spot account. For this, you can actually, I believe, just hit this button right here, and it just switches the two. So now we're coming from derivatives to spot. We're going to choose our coin. What I have in there basically is USDT, okay? And for the amount to be withdrawn, transferred, we're going to go ahead and hit all, right? For this example, you can choose to do a separate amount if you're going to. Otherwise, hit confirm. And now we are going to withdraw our funds. So one great thing about BYBIT, and I suggest you actually set this up in the beginning, is this Google Authentication code that it's going to make you sign up for. This is basically a measure of protection in order to make sure you're not getting hacked or anybody gets into your account and starts sending out your funds. So we're going to go ahead and set up the Google Authentication code because essentially anytime you anytime you send money back out of this account, you're going to need to have an email code, a Google Authenticator code, as well as the passcode there. So we'll set that up. So in your settings here, you will want to just click on Google 2FA Authentication. And now there's a verification code sent. Check the email. So I'm going to check the email that we set up for this account. After setting up that Google Authenticator code, it will make you log back in. And once you're in, you'll just restart that process again, right? So now that your Google Authenticator is in play, you're going to hit Assets. You're going to go to Withdraw. You're going to choose USDT or whatever that coin is for you. For USDT specifically, like I said earlier, we're going to do ERC20 again. Make sure that you're sending it to an ERC20 address as well. We're going to please enter the amount here, which is going to be all. We're going to select an address. So now you're going to go to wherever this is going to, whether it's your Voyager, your Coinbase, your Ledger, whatever wallet address, whatever location it's going to be sent to, should have a equivalent coin address. So if you're in Bitcoin, you're going to have your Bitcoin address from that location. You're going to have an Ethereum address from that location, a USDT. If you're sending this to your KuCoin account, whatever it is, right, it's going to give you the option to deposit wherever you're going to. And when that pops up, it's going to give you a wallet address. You're going to copy that wallet address and you're going to put it in here. Please select an address. Actually, you're going to have to add it in here, right? So when we do this one, right, it's going to ask you to actually add the address. So you're going to have to copy that address, come into here, and you'll add it in. And it's kind of like adding a contact. So once this is all set up, it'll show up here for you to just click on. So we'll have to do that step just one more time. But essentially, that's it, right? So you are basically choosing to send this through ERC20. You're going to send, basically, we're sending it all. It is going to cost us $10 because of Ethereum gas fees. You're going to select the address that you're going to send it to. Once again, you're going to have to put that address in first, right, as like a contact almost. So this next screen will prompt you to basically paste that address in, and that's going to save it. And then you're going to basically have to hit this again and then choose it once it's created. It's kind of like creating a contact almost. That address then will pop up right here, and then you're going to hit withdraw. Now, when we go to hit withdraw, you are going to be prompted for two things, okay? It's going to email you a verification code, all right? And I suggest you do that one first because it's going to give you about, I think it's a minute or maybe 5 minutes for the email. Then you're going to also be prompted for the Google Authentication code. So those two things right there are what enables you. I know it's a little hassle at the time, but it's what enables you to not get hacked. Most likely nobody's going to be able to get that Google Authentication code from you. It does update basically every 30 seconds, so it's an ever-changing PIN code, so to speak, that only you should have access to. And from there, that's where you'll have this ability. Now, one thing I will suggest, I know that this account is only $100 in general, but practice anytime you send funds from somewhere in crypto, it's just like a bank wire transfer. If you send it incorrectly, send it to the wrong person, there's no getting it back if you mess it up, right? And if you send USDT over the wrong blockchain here, that's a good chance you're not going to get it back. It's just going to basically essentially it disappears, right? If you send USDT to a Bitcoin wallet address, it's just the one time when you really want to be paying attention is when you're transferring funds to and from anywhere. And I do recommend you just send $20, even though this one is going to cost $10 to send $20, but whatever that may be, just send a small amount, make sure it gets there correctly and properly before you send any large amounts, right? So yeah, that's essentially BYBIT in a nutshell. I do hope you enjoyed this brief tutorial here. Like I said, you're going to need these 3 apps in order to really pull this off completely. The fourth one, I guess, would be the Google Authentication code system. If you don't know how to use that, just feel free to look on YouTube or Google it as well. It's a very simple process. It does have an app, like I said, and essentially you're going to get a code, and it's going to be ever changing every 30 seconds. Very useful for pretty much almost anything in crypto. If you have any exchanges out there, a lot of them will allow you to enable Google Authentication. It is a really great measure of security there. So for anyone that needs a VPN, like I said, Leading Crypto does have a partnership with Pure VPN. That link is down below, and you could get 82% off of a 2-year subscription for that. And then for BYBIT as well, we do have a partnership link down below if you'd like to sign up using our affiliate link there. Hope you all have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And until next time, cheers.